2 years ago, Tokyo businessman Kazushige Nishida began renting a part-time wife and daughter. His real wife had recently died, and 6 months prior, his 22-year-old daughter had had a falling out with him and left home, cutting off all contact. Left alone, Nishida felt a deep loneliness which he tried to fill with time spent grabbing drinks with friends or playing golf. Yet when he came home each night, he felt the loneliness waiting for him. Instead of getting better over time, he felt worse. And in a bid to relieve his growing loneliness, he tried going to hostess clubs where Japanese men pay for the platonic company of young women. But at the end of the night, he was alone again while being out a great deal of money. But then he remembered a TV program featuring a company called Family Romance, a company specializing in renting out fake family members. Nishida immediately contacted the company and placed an order for a wife and daughter for a quick dinner date, noting on the order form his daughter's age and his wife's physique. For a price of about $370, Nishida got an evening dinner date with his fake daughter and wife, during which the two asked for specific details about his real daughter and wife so they could best approximate them. Nishida was so pleased with the service that he immediately booked another dinner date, their relationship growing to the point that he even left a copy of his home key at Family Romance's office so that the duo could visit him at home. After many months of spending time with his fake family, his fake daughter and fake wife even helped Nishida to reconnect with his estranged daughter. Speaking with his rented daughter allowed Nishida to see a different point of view and made him realize that he may perhaps have been too inflexible and cold with his real daughter. Eventually, Nishida reached out to his real daughter, although we're pretty sure he didn't tell her about the fake family he had been spending time with during his loneliness. Founded by Yuichi Ishii, Family Romance specializes in hiring out replacement family members for the lonely, though they also hire out companions who act as platonic friends. Ishii initially got the idea 11 years ago when a friend of his who was a single mother told him that she was having trouble getting her daughter into a competitive kindergarten because the schools favored children whose parents were married. Posing as the child's father, Ishii attended the school interview, and though this interview did not go well due to the child's lack of familiarity with Ishii, Ishii knew that he had stumbled into a great business idea. Ishii discovered only one service, Hagemashi Tai, translated to "I want to cheer you up," which had started in 2006. Founded by Ryuichi Ichinokawa, a middle-aged former salaryman with a wife and 2 sons, he had been deeply disturbed by news of a stabbing at a private elementary school in a suburb of Osaka, in which 8 children were killed. Because such incidents are rare in Japan and schools aren't equipped with proper counseling services, Ichinokawa enrolled in a psychology course hoping to become a school counselor. But instead, he ended up launching a website that offered counseling via email. From there, he branched out into renting relatives to lonely men and women, coming to the conclusion that a lot of problems were caused by loneliness. Ishii worked with Hagemashi Tai for a few years, but in 2009 he left the company to start his own, and today he runs Family Romance alongside a talent agency and a tech consultancy. Family Romance maintains a database of about 1,200 freelance actors, ranging from children to young adults and even elderly actors. Family Romance can provide you with any family member you wish, from a young child to a rebellious teenager to an elderly grandmother. Most of their business comes from big one-time jobs such as weddings or other major social events, which makes up 70% of Family Romance's revenue. The other 30% comes from personal relationships, such as that of Kazushige Nishida. Ishii describes the work as extremely stressful, with actors having to crawl into the skin of different family members for various clients per week. Having personally been in 10 families at the same time prior in his career, Ishii has since implemented a policy that no actor can play more than 5 roles at any time. Many fake family members have sought out actual acting training in order to better serve their customers, but also to help deal with the stress of having to play 5 different roles simultaneously. If you feel overwhelmed by your family and your normal life, imagine having to be 5 different people to 5 different families all at the same time. Surprisingly, the hazards of the job don't involve violence, as Family Romance takes care to ensure the safety of their actors. One of the chief rules is that no actor is ever allowed to go home alone with the client, though in Nishida's case an exception was made because 2 actors were involved at the same time. Physical contact beyond some basic hand-holding is also not allowed. However, while assault and violence are not a prominent job hazard, client dependency definitely is. Surprisingly though, it's women who are at greater risk of becoming dependent, with between 30 and 40% of women who rent out husbands in ongoing relationships eventually proposing marriage. The most difficult dependency situations involve single mothers though, With Ishii saying, we can't just push them away and say no, we can't do that in a cold way, because we have a responsibility that we will play the role for a long time. In order to keep a client happy and no doubt protect their bottom line, Family Romance takes steps in these cases, such as reducing the frequency of meetings to only once every 3 months. The approach has mixed success though, with it working on some people but not others, and occasionally relationships simply have to be terminated. Actors might not only replace family members who are missing or dead though, with some clients hiring out actors to replace family members that are very much alive and very much in the picture. One actor interviewed by The New Yorker revealed that she had been impersonating a man's wife for 7 years, with the real wife having put on weight and the hired stand-in taking her place as the man went out with friends. That same actress also replaced several overweight mothers at school events, as the children of overweight parents can be subject to severe bullying in an image-conscious Japan. Stranger still, a pregnant woman once rented a fake mother to persuade her boyfriend to acknowledge their child, and a young man rented a fake father to ease the minds of the parents of his pregnant lover. Other popular hires also include the hiring of fake boyfriends by single women who have marriage-obsessed parents. The duo will typically fake an entire relationship to include taking photos together and perhaps even joining in on family events or video chats with the parents. When the parents start pushing too hard about a marriage date though, the women will eventually say that things simply didn't work out, buying herself more time to find a real boyfriend. Sometimes, however, the parents can't be put off, and in this case, Family Romance and other rent-a-family providers offer the ultimate service, an entirely falsified wedding. For around 5 million yen or about $47,000, a man or woman can purchase an entirely faked wedding. The event may include real co-workers, friends, and family members, with perhaps a fake groom or bride, but other times the entire event is faked. And once more, it's typically women who opt for this service more than men. In this case, the only non-actors are the bride and her parents. And every single guest, the groom, and even the best man all paid actors. The service is typically well worth the expense though, with every detail perfect for the bride, to even include a tear-jerking speech by the fake best man. However, perhaps the strangest service offered by Family Romance and others is that of the rental scolder. Rented scolders are exactly what they sound like, individuals hired to berate the clients that hire them. The client will typically meet and discuss the mistakes that they feel they've made or their personal shortcomings. A client might perhaps not be aware of mistakes they are making and simply talk about their problems. The scolder is then expected to give the client a dose of reality and the advice on how to straighten things out, typically in a forceful and very matter-of-fact way. While this probably seems more than a bit strange, it might in fact be a genius service. After all, how many powerful CEOs or managers have anyone in their life that will bluntly tell them what they're doing wrong without fear of repercussions? Rental apologies, the reverse of rental scoldings, are another service offered by Japan's decidedly unorthodox rent-a-family industry. Here, clients can hire actors to basically take the heat for them, and the schemes can be very elaborate indeed. For example, a client may have made a mistake at work and have to deal with an irate customer, so the client simply hires a fake supervisor to apologize profusely to the customer. If that doesn't work, a different actor will be sent to act as the division head, and if that doesn't work, then a very remorseful and apologetic company president will be sent. Because the real department heads and presidents aren't aware of this, however, situations can get very complicated. Sometimes, though, an offended customer may not have actually met the offending employee, in which case one can simply hire an employee who then comes in and takes the heat. All the while, the fake employee grovels on the floor begging forgiveness. This can be stressful for the actor involved, however, as they're often severely verbally berated, and doing this as a full-time job certainly can't be pleasant. Less pleasant, though, would be when actors are hired to sort out romantic affairs, a service which is of course available. An angry husband or wife may demand a personal apology from their wife or husband's lover, and in this case, one can simply hire an actor to play the role. If the other lover is married though, the husband or wife who was cheated on may demand to meet with both the lover and the lover's significant other, forcing a confrontation that they may hope will destroy that marriage as well. In this case, one can hire not just a fake lover, but the wife or husband of their fake lover as well, and like an elaborate stage play, sit by while their own angry husband or wife takes out their anger on the fake couple, then watches as the fake couple fights amongst themselves. Japan's rent-a-family industry is certainly strange by our Western standards, yet in many ways it actually makes a lot of sense and may fill a vital role for many people. For lonely Westerners who may not be socially adept or perhaps are struggling to recover after a traumatic romantic experience, Their only options for companionship is often to rely on the dangerous and often illegal prostitution industry. While some men and women may legitimately be looking for physical companionship, it's clear that a much larger desire for emotional companionship exists. And in Japan, the need is easily fulfilled by the very strange yet fascinating rent-a-family industry. Would you ever rent a family member for any reason? Would a fake family member ever have helped you get out of a jam? Also, check out our other video, Why is Japan's population decreasing? And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more great content.